Hey everyone, forgive me for the hat. I just had surgery, so my head looks a little wonky. Have you ever felt like you need a place to be yourself, right? But at the same time, you want to kind of like speak about things that you're like truly weighing on you, and they're weighing you down, and you want to speak on these things. This is what small group is designed for, okay? And so a small group is simply a gathering of 3 to 12 or more people. It's a place where they can talk about their feelings, how their days are going, how their weeks are going, and just things like that. Something like a football game or even a TV show they've been watching. And small groups are essential for our emotional and spiritual growth. Hebrews 10:24 through 25 reminds us, and let us consider how we may spur one another toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. This verse, it highlights to us the importance of having community, of people who encourage us. We come together and create a space where individuals can grow in love and faith and trust. It's a gathering where real, meaningful connections can be made. And building a genuine and lasting relationship with a small group is not only important, but it's also vital for personal growth and spiritual growth, especially when working with students. A small group isn't just a place where people gather. It's a vulnerable and safe space for individuals to be themselves. But creating that safe space doesn't automatically happen. We kind of have to work towards that. And there are a few key factors that make that possible. First, trust is essential. Group members need to know that they can rely on one another and that the words that they speak are respected and they're heard. One youth leader noted that although students liked him, they only began to trust him after he had consistently been present for 2 to 3 months. He hadn't done anything dramatic, He just kept showing up, listening, and sharing bits of his own story, being himself. Secondly, this physical space matters too. Whether it's a classroom, someone's living room, or a youth center, the setting should be comfortable and secure, allowing everyone to feel like they can be themselves and feel at ease. The Fuller Institute noted that playing games with students, eating together, and making memories, it can lead to deeper levels of trust and more intentional relationships. Icebreakers can lead to deep and vulnerable conversations, and when the leader takes note and takes the reins and begins with vulnerability, things like highs and lows, that can lead to even more opportunities to speak life into someone and encourage them or offer even a word of advice. Finally, there's the balance between being a friend and a leader, and this is the most important thing. I want to clarify that I'm speaking specifically from the perspective of a youth coach, such as middle schoolers or high schoolers. Maintaining this balance is critical. It can allow barriers to fall, help students open up, and while keeping the roles clear so that the group can function safely and effectively. I know that in my own personal experience, I've had to learn how to keep these boundaries safe. Because if I don't, the hierarchy of power begins to break down. Students feel like they need to check in on me or lead me. And while the gesture is grand and it truly means something and it's coming from a good place, it's not their job. Their job isn't to check in on me. It's my job to check in on them. I have people in my life who are there for those things. I have my own small group. And I had to make that clear to them when the balance began to shift. I remember a time when I was really struggling with some things, and I was honest and vulnerable with my students about that. I didn't give details because that's not what my job is, and that's not what I'm there for, but this led to students, reaching out to me, asking me how I'm doing, and checking in on me, and I had to remind them that my role is to support them, and gently, not the other way around. When I set that boundary with the kindness and gentleness, I reinforced my trust and my clarity with them. So we got to remember that the purpose of small groups lies within that passage from Hebrews I shared earlier. When trust is built, a space is safe, and boundaries are clear, we can truly encourage one another toward love and good deeds. So the next time you think about community, consider a small group, a place where trust, safety, and balance can help each person grow and leave encouraged.